because you know better. Stop. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Napoleon Hogan's Ministry. Today we are in chapter 23 of our 31 Days in Proverbs. 31 Days in Proverbs, 31 Days in March. Chapter 23 really focuses on being self-controlled in your food and drink. And it pleads with the reader when it comes to tradition, when it comes to parenting, when it comes to dealing with the poor and the fatherless. It pleads with the reader by providing wisdom on how you should handle these situations, as you will see when you read through the chapter. Let me know what you got from this chapter. Put it in the comments below. I look forward to reading it. Okay, so as is tradition at this point, there were several verses that got my attention. I wrote them down, and I'm gonna go through and read them real quick. It's not a whole lot. This chapter was really good. I picked out about, how many did I pick out? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. About 6 I picked out that I really liked. So let's get into this. Okay, so verse 4 was the first one that stood out to me. It said, "Don't wear yourself out to get rich because you know better. Stop." Now this is the CSB version. I'm pretty sure it might say it different in another version, but I like how plain this is. It's very much, especially with all of the verses that we've read so far, just in Proverbs about how God will take care of us and cause us to prosper. Whatever we put our hand to, he will cause to prosper. For us to then turn around and make getting rich our own sole focus that we wear ourselves out to do it, is kind of disrespectful to the words he's already given us. I think we should just trust him and go down the path he has for our life. Verse 9, "Don't speak to a fool, for he will despise the insights of your words." So just like we've read before in previous chapters, you cannot educate a fool unless they are ready to let go of their foolishness. If you have an argument with a fool, you're more than likely to go down to their level as opposed to bringing them up to your level. So just keep that in mind. Sometimes it's just better to just not have a conversation with a fool. All right, verse 10. Now this one's pretty interesting, I thought. It says, "Don't move an ancient boundary marker and don't encroach on the fields of the fatherless." So what the first portion of this verse is saying is, before you do something, you change something that has been established for years, you really need to look into why it's there. You can't, sometimes we as humans just see something as tradition and immediately make it bad, or idolize it. But right now we're going to focus on what the verse is talking about, and that's about making it bad. If something is tradition, you should have a really good reason before you move that tradition, because it says right here, "Don't move an ancient boundary marker." That's talking about a tradition. That's talking about something that's been in place for years. And it says, "Don't encroach on the fields of the fatherless." Again, this goes back to tradition, but it also points to the fact that sometimes things are in place to protect those that you do not see or that you're not aware of. So again, you really need to be educated before you just go and throw something out completely. Sometimes traditions need to change because they're wrong. Oftentimes, though, that tradition is there for a very good reason. And then verse 11 follows up directly after this. Verse 11 says, "For their Redeemer is strong, and he will champion their cause against you." The Redeemer, talking about Jesus, is strong, and he will champion their cause against you. If you remove a tradition that was there to protect somebody else, now you've got the attention of Jesus. All right, verse 13 is a verse on parenting. It says, don't withhold discipline from a youth. If you punish him with a rod, he will not die." Now this rod is actually talking about a physical rod, but you can look at this and go, well, it's physical and metaphorical. But the point of this is, if you love your child and want them to live, you will discipline them. And discipline is supposed to be painful in some sort. Like, one of the things that really drives home a point when I'm trying to make a point to my daughter about listening is taking away any type of TV. Take away the TV, I immediately got her attention. That is the rod in this example, right? She's now paying attention to what I'm saying, because she's now very upset and is going to have to endure the pain of not getting to watch TV. Verse 14 is on the same theme. It says, "Punish him with a rod, and you will rescue his life from Sheol," which is meaning hell. The whole purpose of discipline is to better your children's life, not yours, your children's life. It's to make it to where they grow up to be good, godly adults. Not just listen to you because they have to, but the goal is for them to grow up and to be men and women of character. Okay, so that they will be removed from the temptation of hell. Right? As well, the temptation might come, but their characters develop in such a way that the temptation doesn't matter, right? Because they know the Lord. They know right and wrong. They have a moral guide based in the Bible. So when the temptation comes, that moral guide will rescue them from hell. Thank you for watching. If this blessed you, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll be back tomorrow with chapter 23. Until then, God bless. Peace.